No, hang on. Wait a minute. This can't be right, surely. A campervan video on this campervan channel that hasn't seen a campervan video for several months? What is going on? I tell you what, I'll drive to the campsite and I will explain to you.
It was certainly not the most promising day weather-wise for a camping trip with non-stop drizzle, grey skies and a chilly breeze. Pretty soon I was on the eastern side of the Malvern Hills and heading towards the market town of Ledbury, or just outside it anyway, which meant Google took me down some of the more wonderful English country roads, which, I remind overseas viewers, are for two-way traffic and have a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit. Yes, really. People often ask me, what do you do when something comes the other way? And whilst arguments and standoffs certainly do exist when stubborn drivers refuse to back up to an obvious pull-in, the more usual outcome is this kind of very civilised interaction where we both brake quickly, utter a swear word, and then the very decent chap in the other van reversed before I had a chance to, and we both went on our way with a friendly wave to acknowledge his considerate and polite driving. A few minutes later, and on another similar road, I almost overshot the campsite.
That's it, isn't it? No, that's it! Oh, we're here. Oh, wow. Well, that was a typically exhilarating British car journey. I have arrived safe in one piece. I now just need to check in, find out where I'm actually supposed to be parked, and then I will tell you all about how it is I come to be camping again. First view of the campsite. And this is a lovely view, isn't it? Look at that, they've got a fishing lake down there. Nice and quiet. Very soggy. They've got a bit of everything here, camping, campervans, lodges. I'll do a little wander around in a minute. Apart from the aeroplane, it's very quiet. And look, actually hint of sunshine. Here's reception, which is both reception and a little shop. And here we go with the all-important ice cream machine and the cans of stuff and little bits of supplies. And a lovely friendly person behind reception.
Thank you.
The instructions are to go back down where I came in, up the drive, straight across the road and into the camping field. Now, I had booked a grass pitch, but given the amount of rain, they have unsurprisingly said, as it is very quiet, take one of the tarmac pitches instead, because you'll never get out if you go on the grass pitch. So let's go and find somewhere. There are a couple of other camper vans down there, and they say there's not many people booked in. It is the end of January as I'm filming this, so it's a quiet winter weekend. Hopefully pretty much nobody around. This is my chosen spot, as seen through the camper van window. I think before it rains again and before it gets dark, I'd better do a tour. Ah yes, but before that, of course, I did say I'd explain how on earth I come to be camper vanning at all. If you are a watcher of my boat channel, you already know my time is extremely limited at the moment due to caring for a family member, and that leaves me with weekends and Wednesdays pretty much to do everything, life, everything, work, social, admin, everything. So it's rare that I'm getting any weekends away. Just randomly though, this weekend had nothing else scheduled. So I thought, why not take advantage? It's only one night, Saturday night, end of January, but I got the chance, so I thought, quick, book something. Found this place. It's not a million miles away from home, so if I do need to scurry back, I can get back fairly quickly. And I thought, let's just find a nice site, which this one appears to be, good reviews on the web and everything. So I thought I'd get away for a night. And obviously doing that, I thought I'd better bring the camera along and do a video, because I am painfully aware there have been no videos on the channel for a while. That is just a consequence of current circumstances. I'm hoping that I might be able to get a few more random weekends here and there. I'm trying to reorganise and rejig my time around what I do. Maybe once a month is too optimistic. Maybe once every couple of months I'll be able to get away in the van. Again, probably just for the one night. We really have to just see how things go. But for the moment, I have tonight in the van, today and tomorrow morning meeting a friend for Sunday lunch as well. So that is nice. Let's do some sort of tour then. As you can see, I have parked on the gravelly bit, and you look down the hill over towards the hills in the distance, and you can probably just see beyond the hedge there's a little tent of some sort and what looks like an old caravan, and then there's a fishing lake. I've been told they're doing swimming and sauna sessions in the morning, which I'm invited to join, and the answer to that was a very firm no. Hell no. To my right we have, I think, bins, and you'll notice there are electricity supply things here. I didn't pay for an electricity pitch, but because the grass being so wet, they said park here anyway. Oh, that's an EV charging point, isn't it? However, they have got electricity supply for the vans as well. And then over here there's a drinking water point. Looks like they've got some sort of Wi-Fi for the site, or maybe that's just for their own security cameras, I don't know. Anyway, round here, what have we got? Yes, bins, here we go. Recycling bins. And a dog waste bin, that is good. Yes, you can see all the little electrical hookups they've got in the main field. I saw they said the field had something like 50 electrical hookup points. I thought that's got to be a typo, surely there must mean 5. But no, by the looks of it, the entire field is set for electric plug-in. Dead ahead, multiple shower blocks. I'm told the first one is currently shut because it is winter, so they don't really need everything open. Yeah, there we go, a couple of toilets at the end, and then the others, toilets and showers, including an accessible one at that end. But because it's winter, use the ones in the other building. There's a sink here for doing your washing up. And then I presume by brick building they mean this converted barn. Oh yes, here we go. There we go, there's a toilet. Oh! Well, I must admit I wasn't expecting that. Look at that. The old mill building has its old grindstone. Oh, well. And then these must be the toilets. Yes, there we go. Toilet and shower at the end. Cubicle as you would expect. Certainly looks clean. Do the job, won't it? And a curtain to keep all the shower off your clothes and things. That is nice to know. And there's a better view of the plate washing facilities, with another drinking water tap at the end. I am very glad that I didn't have to park on this. It's very soggy underfoot. I'm trying to work out how I get down to the lake, and I think this is it. Oh, this is really squelchy underfoot, oh my. Play area for the kids, a lake and a marquee. Oh, that is very nice, isn't it? I don't know much about fishing, but I presume that is a nice lake if you are a fisher person. And what I thought was a vintage caravan is actually the sauna. Look at that. And yes, I was offered, as I say, sauna and a swim tomorrow morning. But given that, no, no again, and thrice no. I am just going to give you a minute or two of contemplative silence with the sounds of nature. Looking back up the hill, you can just see my van peeking over the hedge, and then the other two camper vans to the right of that, and the reception building up there at the top. Will you look at the state of the inside of the van? And this is not because I've been here in the mud, this is just how it currently is. I need to get one of those little carpet cleaner things that squishes the water around and sucks up all the muck and dirt. That is shocking, isn't it? What I rather foolishly don't have with me are my slippers or my flip-flops for use in the shower block. I've left them on the boat, of course, because I use the boat showers at the marina, which means that I shall be going into the shower block with nothing to protect my feet from any manner of nasties that might be found in a typical shower block. So I shall have to come up with an alternative solution. And my feet are going to be cold in the van because of no slippers, and I don't want to keep my shoes on because they're now very muddy indeed. Although, frankly, with the state of this carpet, it wouldn't make a lot of difference. I wonder... I might just say to hell with the carpet and keep the shoes on. Anyway, first order of business, having got here, it's 2 o'clock, time for a cup of tea and a cheese sandwich. Now I think of it, I'm not entirely sure that either of those is shower gel. I think one of those is a hand sanitizer. No, just hand wash, I think. And the other one might be detergent for washing up. I really don't know. I think I've put so much stuff on the boat. But one of them is going to be used for the washing up and one of them is going to be used for washing me in the morning. I'm sure they'll do the job. Although it is reasonably light at the moment, by the time I've had my lunch, I think it's going to be getting dark again. It'll be about 3 o'clock. Sunset at the moment is about 4:30. So I'm unlikely to go for a walk, I think. So I have brought a book. I have a funny feeling the last time I did a camper video and whipped out a book, it was the last Richard Osman. Well, now I'm on this one. I have some rolls, which I will turn into cheese rolls. Got a hard-boiled egg there, bit of tomato, chocolate bar for afterwards. And having been told I sound like Wallace of Wallace and Gromit many times, I bought, for the first time ever, some Wensleydale cheese. I've never tried Wensleydale before, and let me tell you, it's horrid. I don't like it at all. No diss to M&S Foods or whoever produced this Wensleydale, but no. Strong cheddar. Always strong cheddar. I shall never buy this stuff again. I don't like the taste. I don't like the texture. I'm only eating it up because I feel, having spent the money, I should finish it up. But let that be a warning. No to Wensleydale. And you know what? While I'm having a rant, M&S's salted so-called softer butter, pure spreadable, but it's not spreadable in the slightest. It's absolutely solid. And yes, you keep it in the fridge. Of course you keep it in the fridge. So you might think, well, it's in the fridge, so it's solid. But you try scraping any of this and putting it onto a bit of bread. It needs heating up to liquid form before it becomes spreadable. That is, thank you phone for that little beep there. It is not spreadable at all. Look how not spreadable that is. It's just a lump that starts tearing up the bread. I rarely shop at M&S, but you see all their ads for their food and you think, oh, that looks good. Lunch is served with really thick cut tomato in there to mask the taste of the cheese, and that is something I never thought I'd hear myself saying. It is raining. It is 3 o'clock. It's just drizzling, really. I've got the heater on. I'm nice and cosy. I've had my food. I feel a little post-food nap maybe coming on. I've had my nap. Now I'm admiring all the patterns and the colours of the setting sun in the clouds. Also, I think I need a wee. Spring is nearly upon us, clearly, because it's almost 5 o'clock and there's still a bit of daylight left. What a difference those first few days of the year make as you rush from the shortest day and get a bit of light. But the sun is nearly going down. It will be dark soon. Nice evening though. Absolutely glorious. I'm settling back to watch a little bit of Steve Marsh on YouTube. This is a good channel if you've not seen it. It's travel videos. It is now 7 o'clock at night, and will you look at the state of this van? How can such a small space become so chaotic? I do not know. It is raining outside, not heavily, but enough to give quite a pleasant soundtrack as you sit here, just the little tinkle of the rain on the roof. In fact, I'll shut up and let you hear it for a moment. I'd better start thinking about some supper, but I'm not wildly hungry, so I think just some tinned soup and a bit of bread will have to suffice. And I would normally butter the bread, but given the difficulties with the butter, I think it will just be bread. Soup? 2 soups? Supper eaten, I'm now settling back to a little bit of the latest Death in Paradise. Love a bit of Death in Paradise. It is morning. I didn't sleep terribly well. Sometimes I get really comfortable in the van, and other times I just cannot seem to get right. I'm tossing and turning all night long. It was one of those, so not feeling particularly well rested, I must be honest. It's raining, and I must now go and brave the shower block. That was a good shower, lots of pressure, very hot. In fact, so much pressure that holding the shower head was like wrestling a python. Excellent there, in and out like a flash, all done and clean again, ready for some breakfast, which today is cornflakes with a few Frosties thrown on top for a bit of extra sugar. The breakfast of kings. Here is a quick look at the morning for you and the sound of the bird song. Somewhat annoyingly, I don't think my fridge is working anymore. You see on the end there, it's claiming it's 1 degree Celsius in there. But you can open that up and stick your hand in, and there is no way that is 1 Celsius. It was making all the right noises overnight. It kept clicking on, and I could hear the compressor running and things, but that is not. That's ambient temperature, that is. So I don't know what you do with a fridge that thinks it's okay but isn't actually doing what it's supposed to do. I will get a thermometer and just double check it, but no, that is ambient temperature. That is not 1 degree Celsius. So that is very annoying because these little fridges are not cheap. Meanwhile, oh dear, will you look at the state of the van. No matter how much you try and keep mud on that little bit of carpet at the edge, that's my mud carpet, it still finds its way in. There's definitely going to have to be a carpet cleaning operation when I get back. Well, after a lie-in and a bit of breakfast and a bit of reading of the old Richard Osman book, it is now time for me to exit. I'm going to meet a friend and pot around a garden centre and then have some lunch. So quick wee, I think, and then I'll set off.
I don't know if a Sunday outing to the garden centre for purely recreational and social browsing is a thing outside the UK, but for my overseas viewers, I can assure you that so many millions of Brits do this that garden centres have evolved to the point where, unlike this one which really is full of garden stuff, they tuck anything gardening related away in a corner and instead make their money from tacky novelty gifts and a coffee shop or restaurant, all while still maintaining their garden centre branding. And we love it. However, being in the middle of rural nowhere, this one was disappointingly full of actual garden products, and, I mentioned rural, even things for your horse. I don't have a horse, so we skedaddled and went to the pub 200 yards further along the road for Sunday lunch. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.